Well, good morning, you beautiful people. My name's John and welcome to my channel. I hope you like the intro. God, that takes a long time to do that. Today's video is obviously on the XLF F17. It was supposed to be the comparison video between the 14400 Toys 144001 and this car, but I've decided to just do this car alone because there's two issues that I need to pick up on that I wanted to show you for those that were interested in buying it. One was the front differential. Is there something wrong with it? Because if there isn't anything wrong with it, then that'll add to the 30% about yes, I do recommend it. And if there is something wrong with it, boo, that's bad. But secondly, I've noticed something while I was actually doing that strip down. The rear tyre was pointing a bit weird direction. Let me show you what I found. Now, I will be clear, very, very, very clear. The rock that I hit at the end of the video was very big, and it was a really bad angle. But I don't think it should have done the damage that it has, or at least it looks like it has done. So, let me show you what I mean. Please, pay attention to this corner here. Oh no. So that has taken quite a bashing. Should it have bent? I've been doing YouTube videos now for 12 months and I've not had one of those bend before. However, have I caught the rear wheel like that on any other video before? Probably not. And I will explain what happened. The car came in and literally there was like this wall of rock and literally it went bang and the car spun around like that, and that's why it tore the tie rod apart and obviously caused this damage here. Now you are talking about a what, $3-4 US part to replace it, so it's not the end of the world, but it does show that nothing is indestructible in John's hands. That's for sure. I really do want to strip this down just on the basis of, you know, that sound at the front. I wasn't happy with it while I was recording. A lot of people have said that this is effectively a much stronger version of the 144001. And you only have to take a look at the dog bone drive shafts and, you know, the dog bone drive shaft there. I mean, everything is meatier and chunkier and the play is a lot less. But no good if it starts to fall apart like that. I don't think that's a problem. I reckon I could even bend that back into position, but shh, let's not do that now. I want to make a short video, basically because this is for tomorrow, but I also don't want to skip any steps for those that want to see me strip this down. So I think what I'm going to do is try to keep my mouth shut for as long as possible while I'm actually stripping it down, and therefore I'll be able to fast forward through those sections a little bit more. So job number one, let's get rid of that strap. If it'll come out, done. So what do we got? We have one screw, two screws there. There's none down there, which is quite interesting. One there, one there, one there, and that's all to take off this top shelf. I will start at the rear first. Yes, they have used a lot of gunk on these things. Oh, what was it about keeping quiet, John? These two were quite difficult. This one was fine, this one was fine. And take note, please, that the threads are different. These are for this one here and the one at the rear. And these ones are for these four. Now the reason why I've not been able to undo, oh excuse me, this one is because it's also spinning on the rear. So you have to screwdriver at one end, screwdriver at the other, and fight against it. Come on. That does not fit very well, that one, unfortunately. This is the same issue as on the 144001, where either the top one or the bottom one will come undone. And it's a bit frustrating because I really needed that one to come undone. But it's not a deal breaker. We can get on without it. Come on. Why are you not coming out? There you go. Okay, that's good. Let me just show you this. You see all the bearing and everything's falling apart here. But what it does mean is that I can push the bearing back in, hopefully. Come on. Is everything gonna just pull up now? Yeah, it's the servo wire down here that's a bit tight. That's why I can't move it very far. Actually, it's all the wires, so I really need to get this off. Don't use this, ladies and gents. You will end up cutting all of your wires, but my wire cutters are down by the new 3D printer, so cool. There we go. We now have access. Before I move on to the next stage, I will just explain something to you all as well. Okay, I didn't see where that came from, but I do know that that is the bearing for the steering there. Identify the parts, ladies and gents. Ah, yes. If you see on the bottom here, there's exactly the same part as this one here, so that will go on the bottom there. Must keep that in mind. And what I'm actually going to do is keep that with the screw that I took off from the bottom. You know, the underneath one, so push that in. Good. Okay, now, before I move on, as you see, these have all started to fall off anyway. The hexes on the wheels, take off the aluminium hex. It's got the pin there. Make sure you keep all of these safe. The car will not drive without 4 hexes and 4 pins. 2, 2, 3. There's a pin missing from this side. I will find it in a moment. And this is the one, as we know, that was bent. Is it going to come off at all? Doesn't look like it, because of course it's been bent. Come on. No. Oh, there we go. Good. That one off. So we do have a pin missing, don't we? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'll find the pin afterwards. Usually do. Okay. Right, anyway, so we've got that part done now. So steering is as to be expected. I was wondering whether they'd used a bearing in here, but it definitely does not look like it. But we can have a quick look, can't we? No, just a bushing again like the last time. I did suspect that they'd used a slightly larger screw stroke bolt to stop the play there, which I explained on the first video, and it does look like that is the case. Sorry about that, there was a problem with this camera again. I bought some of the most expensive memory cards I've ever bought for these cameras. Super Speed, Excellent Speed, SanDisk, Class 10-100, whatever they're called, 2 of them, and they keep on coming up with the error saying that the write speed isn't fast enough. Which is absolutely bonkers. Anyway, where was I? Yes, I was putting this back on, but I don't know if I need to put it back on, but I think I should put it back on so that I know where it goes. It's really weird being in a situation where having a car that is, you're looking at it and it feels very much like a 144001, but of course every screw, everything is different, and it's, there's that. So there's something not quite processing in my head. It's quite weird. Anyway, we wanted to get into the front diff, and at least that looks very similar, doesn't it? I should take these off. I expected that to be really tough. And it was not. That was really easy. Are they plastic? Okay. Nylon nuts. Interesting choice. But nobody's reported them snapping or breaking, so I suppose why make them metal? The shocks is nothing to write home about. They look exactly the same as what's on the 144001. Maybe slightly smaller. Okay, right. This front bumper needs to come off. 2 screws. 1, 2. And then I assume the 1, 2 at the front. Now there is something that's different on this versus the WO Toys, and I think the bumper holds these pins in, which would be quite unfortunate, because then the whole suspension could fall apart if those pins come out. But let's have a look. They're a little bit longer, aren't they? Okay, definitely right. Those pins can now easily fall out. Once again, I'm just going to be putting the screws back in. I've not recorded for over a week now because I've been unwell. So my mind isn't still not quite with it. So let's turn it back. I mean, I can now literally just pull that pin out and all this will come flying out. Not good. We have to take one of the tie rods off, or else we're not going to be able to, or maybe we will be able to lift it up enough. Yeah, let's just go with we'll be able to lift it up enough. So to get into the front diff, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws as per usual. I'm going to try and actually leave them in the upper part so they don't get all mixed up. There we go. Right, keep in mind where the large gear is, it's facing away. The WO Toys on the left hand side is facing you. So that's something to consider. Here we go. No, I'm not being funny, but that sounds smooth as anything, but is that grease? Yeah, that's grease, okay. I thought for a second that that was rust. And that would not have been good, would it? Something very noticeable off the bat is, see the difference in size of that compared to the WL Toys. I mean, the gearing is so just completely bonkersly different. And then you have a look at the actual cone gear here, and it's tiny compared to the WL Toys. So let's just put that there for now. There's nothing else special in there. So I'm going to be looking at this in more detail when we get the 144001 by the side of it. But I just want to get this open, have a look inside and see if there's anything on it. But looking at how dead silent that is now, looking at or listening to, let me lift it up to the mic. Ready? Wow. Show you it in detail. A little bit concerned about getting these screws out though, I'll be honest with you. The whole reason of getting in there was because I thought that there was something grinding. That is not grinding. We know about the WL Toys grinding sound, and that is not it. See if this will come off easily enough. Why is that not coming out? Come here. Just need to manipulate this a little bit. There we go. That's the screw that comes out from there for anybody that has one left over at some point. Yes, we all have them. That pops off and the bearing comes straight off. Okay. Much easier on that one. Okie dokie. Now that looks to me like grease is leaking out. The grease or whatever they've used inside the oil is leaking out of there, and got loads of sand mixed in. So it may be worth getting in here anyway to see if it needs some white lithium grease. Is that turning, or am I just imagining it? No, that was turning. Okay, I know they could have used longer screws, but seriously? Wow. Unmistakable from where they're from. Okay, what's inside indeed? They have the 3 rather than the 4. How interesting. Wow. Dun dun dun. I'm just going to push it all out. There we go. Okay. Okay, I like. Ooh, I like indeed. Obviously, because the actual casing itself is so small, they've had to go with a slightly different design, and they've gone for a 3 cone gear rather than the traditional, well, traditional to WL Toys at least, 4. And it's actually quite cool. Everything seems like it's pretty good metal. There doesn't seem to be any artifacts, any bits of metal in here whatsoever, but it's got a slight grain to it, like it's been leaking, obviously leaking fluid out, and when fluid can come out, of course fluid can go back in again. So, let's see what it's like with the old white lithium grease. The actual screws themselves, you can see, will go all the way through to the bottom. Looks like that's where it's actually tightening. So if you do have a fluid of some type, it's all going to leak out anyway, isn't it? Quite interesting seeing that they've obviously copied the plans from somewhere, but they've gone their own way on the diffs, which I like to see actually. That's very good indeed. A little bit easier to clean because obviously everything can just be pulled out very easily. Nice. Okay. Of course, drop my white lithium grease on the floor. Just going to put a little smidge. Seems to be a lot of a smidge, but it wasn't meant that way. Nice. I like this way because of course you don't have the cross members that you have to line up perfectly. Whack it on. To three. So, where did this go? In fact, I'll show you in detail where it goes for those that are unsure. You've got the screw holes. 1, 2, 3. Where are we? 1, 2, 3 screw holes, and the cross members actually go. There's a square part. Where the cross members go there. Or the cross members, this. It's not really a cross, is it? There we go. I'm going to put a little bit more in, just to make sure it's got enough. Try not to cross-contaminate, but you don't have to worry too much. It doesn't have to be like 100%, but the more you can get out, the better. Everything's metal. Everything just feels a little bit better. A little bit more. Around 75%. I've forgotten anything, have I? No. Right, now, got to get the screw holes lined up. And they will be... probably like so. Look at that, it's pushing out some fluid there. Cool. Of course, the difference with the white lithium grease versus the oily type stuff that they had in there now is that it's less runny, less likely to just come and fall out. Okay, now what do we have? Had a bearing that I'm just going to give a quick wipe. And then, see, I don't know if there was deliberately some grease there to sort of help lubricate that bit, or whether it was just leaking, so I'm not going to put anything in there. That lines up quite well, doesn't it? There's two sides to this. You've got a slightly wider side and a smaller side. Obviously the wider side is for the head of the screw. First impressions, yes, these are a lot stronger than WL Toys. Gorgeous and beautiful. Absolutely love that. So, was the slight grinding sound because they didn't have any here? What do you reckon? Remember, this goes there to here. Okay, let's give a squidge in there. Big squidge, wasn't meant to be that big, but oh no, a Leicester drive shaft. See, what's mixing here, I don't think it ever was supposed to, or ever had any, sorry, ever had any in there. I think it's leaked out of it, which is a bit worrying. Okay. Make sure that the two bearings are still in position when you put this back together. I'm perfectly aware that I've not done the dog bone drive shafts because I'm going to have to take the tie rod off to do that. Excellent. This one had obviously fallen off, so there's the bearing. Goes on like that. The other bearing is already in here, so it just has to be pushed through like so. And we can put that back in. And tighten that up. Okay, now let's have a look at this problem corner. Oh, I've gone and messed it up a little bit myself. Look at that. Bent it at the wrong point. So let's see if we can do anything about that. I may have inadvertently completely broken this by my eagerness just to get that off. I've weakened it at a second point, which was silly of me. I should have paid more attention when I was just trying to get that off, so that's my fault. For those that didn't see, this was the tie rod that fell apart, or was pulled apart in the impact. Cool, let's get this out, if it'll come out after all my bends. Probably not. Come on, come with your bearing and bushing. Just going to use the mat to push it through, hopefully. Now, there we go. Okay, just put that to one side for now and see how badly I messed this up. Okay, right. Whoopsie doopsie. It was this slight kink that had happened in the impact, and it was this idiot kink that I did myself. My fault. Not the card. So, can we fix it? Yes, we can, says Bob. I don't think Bob was into RC personally, but let's see. I'm going to try to firstly rectify my mess up. Yes, they're old. I used these on the plumbing the other day and memory card error again. It's not getting frustrating at all, is it? Where did that come from? Oh, from the steering. Okay, I'm gonna leave that there. Right, so as I was saying, I've used these on the plumbing the other day and I forgot to dry them properly. So, roughly where you messed it up the first time, John. Actually, let's see if I do it this way instead. Come on. No, I can't use the wood like that. Man, it works on thinner ones, just won't work on this one, so... Ah. Never to be used again. Probably be a good time to see if any of the other WR Toys ones would fit this, wouldn't it? Oh well, there you go. You can't do it back the other way. I pretty much knew that would happen, but I was hoping. So, do I have one that fits while we're here? Unlike other YouTubers, I will be including this, because you need to know what you can and can't do. It was really weird because I can't seem to find any of the 144 ones of these. That is a fan one. Well, no, I think will be the answer there. That's quite different, isn't it? Shish kebabs. Okay, well, it's clear I'm not going to be able to use any of the ones I have laid around here. I'm going to have to order some more. I think the same thing would have happened when I tried to bend sort of this one back up as well. It was just going to snap. So nothing ventured and nothing gained. So, bring it back, bring it back. This is going to be left stripped down as it is. It's true what people were saying about the... that can't be the pinion for the 144, is it? I suppose it could be. Look at the difference in those. Wow, that's why the gearing's completely different. My gosh. My goshy gosh. Yeah, I can't go any further now until I get a replacement of those, can I? Steering's the same, tiny little motor. Is it adjustable? No. But you can put a slightly larger one in if you see that that's got a hole at the top there as well. So you can put a slightly larger one in. It'd be interesting to see if the mount of a WO Toys would fit in there. This is one I was hacking away at the other day, so please don't pay any attention to it. Yeah, once I get it all apart, I'll see whether we can use WO Toys ones of these in there as well. So, okay, well then that's a good place to stop, seeing as I've buggered it and can't go any further anyway. All of these bits and bobs, as I said, I'm just going to sort of leave apart because I need to strip down the 144001 anyway. So, definitely the damage was caused by myself, but should it have held up a bit more? Maybe, but I don't think so. It was quite an impact, and a really weird impact as well. And it's good to see that the differentials are of a good quality, very good quality actually for that matter. So if you like the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you stick around for the comparison between these two and all the new videos coming up as well. Take care of yourself, stay safe, bye bye.